Well, let's just keep working then. 50% positive chance. Yes. All right. Welcome to Citizen Sleeper. This is Chapter 1, and I'm going in blind. From what I understand, this is a narrative-first sci-fi RPG where pressure comes from time, limited options, and the choices you live with, not reflexes. So I'm going to play it slow and steady, read what matters, think out loud when decisions get tight, and let the consequences land. If you're here for a calm start and a story that builds weight over time, you're in the right place. Let's wake up on this station and see what kind of life we can carve out. So, an operator works with drones. We have extractor, work on resource extraction, hard vacuum environments. That gives us less intuit. Okay. What about machinist? Repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Feeling like we could potentially be machinist, but let's stick with the operator. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. Where are you? The first thing, it's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Forget that body. We're gonna forget it. You resist nostalgia. It is pointless, especially now. This is the moment to reach out, not curl inwards. This is your moment of escape, even if it feels immediately like you traded one prison for another. Smaller, colder, lifeless. Reach out. You almost laugh, or you would if there was room, or even air, to do so. The walls of the container are immediately present, cold hard at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember the others. Remember the plan. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple: collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourself into containers, then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Rest. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints are released from their rigor. Sound, too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks. Your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as the cold, softer and softer, until in a haze of dirty yellow, a figure appears. You are out. Well, we're on the station. Dragos, pragmatic salvager. It's been a few months since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. "So, sleeper, you all thawed yet?" "Almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky." Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locked in with you, an unflinching stare. last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he is just figuring out what happened to you. Or perhaps he is just figuring out what to do with you. I plan to survive. You aren't sure if he hears you. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation, and I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation, illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms. The cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells. The promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. S&ARP wants to protect their property. If they can't keep hold of you, well then, no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down. Separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The eye is the best place you could be right now. The eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with, he trails off. There's an old freighter container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you are welcome to it. Something wells up inside you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Nod. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Drago stalks back into the Rex. His drones already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. So we're at Erlin's Eyes. Runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and do actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward. Head to the empty container location and end this cycle now. End the cycle. Rest and prepare for the next one. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Let's build a life. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright, polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and is long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can, and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. So, condition, action dice, and energy. Condition represents the current state of your artificial body. 2. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. 3. Energy. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. Okay, let's continue. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? I'm gonna say okay. The drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Sure, why not? All right, he nods. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or to the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally, we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in it is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously, I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Got it. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well... He trails off. But things being the way they are, for me at the yard, he pauses, I need the help. I'm just gonna say we're happy to. Okay, he pauses. Thinking of something else to add, "Look, just come down to the yard when you are feeling fresher. There's plenty to do." "Will do." He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. "See you later," he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. So actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. Action rewards you with clock progress, energy condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome: positive, neutral, and negative. Action dice affect these outcomes as follows. A 5 only gives you 50% chance, 25% chance positive, 50% chance neutral, 25% chance negative. So looking at dice rolls of 3 and 4, where you start getting into the positive, greater negative chance. 1 and 2, of course, are potential failures. Actions display information about their type, risk level, and the skill and modifiers that apply to that action. 1. Repeatable action, either critical or repeatable. 2. Risk, either safe, risky, or danger. 3. Skill, the skill that this action requires. And 4. The modifier. This is added to the action dice when slotted and improves its value. Some actions require +1 to perform. Okay. So I have a -1 here. So I kind of want... Let's do... about a 5 here. That should be fine. Hull dissection. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Drago's debt, are cycle clocks. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Cool. So we're learning more about the game. And we can repeat this one. What's the manual salvage give us? It's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you are no stranger to hard labor. What if we put a 6 in there? It still gives us a -1. I see. Let's give it a shot. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives, depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. So, up here. Okay. You are now free to explore Erlin's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food, keep your energy up and away to recover condition. Fill the clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you are out of dice. Ooh, that was a success, a neutral outcome. Well, let's just keep working then. 50% positive chance. Yes. Yes. Great success. What's this now? Hellion Crossing. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Hellion system are rare, but those that do always return. Eventually. I see. There's no actions for us here right now. We're out of dice, so let's go ahead and rest. End the cycle. This time you don't wake up. Instead of the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring surrounds you. For a moment you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Let's observe it. If you would touch it, let me know in the comments below. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, you see/feel the map of the station. No, not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. It is a looped cloud with spokes and spires that jut out into space. It is an ingrown thing full of obsolete loops and severed pathways. It is a system, a map, and a territory all at once. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you, insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow, it is pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours, all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and you feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind. A storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it is gone. We need to eat some food. Wow, there's lots of places to explore now. We are starving right now, though. The rotunda. Well, how do I eat food, though? Find a doctor. Bright market. Low-end gate. Ask for directions. Why wander when there are hundreds of people and live and work within the bright market? All you need is the courage to approach them. Okay, yeah, we need knowledge. Neutral outcome, -6 crypto. Okay, let's explore the market ourselves. Oh, 50%. We got 50-50 on that. We did it. There we go. We found the doctor. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying Hab Block. They have all made the long queue a test of your nerve, but your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, your body will. You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Look at the enforcer. The enforcer is looking down the corridor, and you dare to glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He's there to intimidate, to threaten, and, if necessary, carry out those threats. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes like mercury teardrops. Subsidiary sense input are aesthetic markers. You aren't sure. Subsidiary sense input or aesthetic markers. You aren't sure. You also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoo on his arm, but you make a note of it. You avert your eyes when he looks back at the queue. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch a distant voice. "Send the next one in, Toshiro." The enforcer jerks his head, and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in a warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above. And, for a moment, you are transfixed by the motion. "Come sit," calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turning away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns up, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink, and then quickly regain their composure. Please sit, they gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been on this station? They ask, the scanner still to their eye. A few cycles. They nod. It's good you came to me. They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying. They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNARP doesn't like it to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? Yes. Good. That may help. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize once again, but they stop themselves. I know a little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and when the silence gives way to tension, you stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help, they sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside? You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. They give me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Starward Belt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source a stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Why help me? Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face. but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Okay, so we have that. Hey, street vendor food. We can stop starving. Emphas is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red-flecked dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. Approach. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers. Vac suits unzipped and rolled down to exposed stained vests, grubby mods, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives, their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually, it's your turn, and you shuffle to the front. Emphas speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up. First try is free. We'll thank him. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you sleepers, Emphas says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap and with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems you tell him like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more, he smiles. But next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the galley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be backed. Ooh, we got a new drive from that. So we have to wait for Sabine. Right. We also have to get to know Emphas. Repay Dragos. Build a ship mind. You've heard talk of a fabricator owned by the Ort Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a ship mind core. Well, with that, I will leave you. Next time, we'll explore a little bit more of the eye and hopefully find a way to survive. I'm Seth on duty. Thanks for watching.